Chasing catfish on the Grand River is a lot of fun, to be sure. These big fish fight hard and really can make for a great trip down the river. This afternoon I was joining Russ Gable, Luke Wahlberg, and Austin Burkhardt. Austin and Luke have known Russ for quite a while and have fished with him before. We had high hopes as we hit the water.
We are heading out to a spot where two parts of the Grand River come together, and they dig out a nice channel there, and it seems like in the spring, end of May, beginning of June, catfish just pile up there. It's one of the deepest holes in the Grand. It's about 22 feet deep, so anytime you find a spot that deep, you always got to fish it for the cats. These are alewives that we're using fresh off the pier this morning.
And then what's the setup here that we got?
Slip sinker. We got a 3-ounce pyramid, beading a swivel, and then about a foot-long leader, maybe a little longer. And then circle hooks. This is something we switched to last year. Take the circle hooks and they just run a little longer with them. But when they do that, you don't really set the hook on them. You just let them run, and you just kind of lightly snug up. It works up through their throat and always gets them in the corner. It's really sweet when it works. And then I'll generally just take the tail off just to get some set in the water. And that's our bait.
I was joining Russ this evening to hear more about Freewater Experience, a venture that he is hoping will tie together his love of the outdoors and a passion for seeing kids make positive choices.
I've been a youth pastor for about 17 years, and last spring took a break and spent some time just kind of assessing where I thought I was really being led in my life and what I wanted to do, and took a lot of time to fish and camp and started spending a lot of time with different teens that I'd known from my youth group. And as I did that, I kind of realized that the outdoors, the camping trips and hunting trips and things like that are really good, just a good venue to get kids away from the everyday pressure, to kind of get kids at a place where they'll open up and share what's going on in their world. You think about fishing trips and hunting trips, that's just where we talk about life. And I realized that was a really good forum to do ministry with. So in the fall, we launched Freewater Experience. We incorporated with the state, filed for 501c3, and wanted to become basically a ministry that initially targeted at-risk teens, but really works with all teens, with families, and just creates outdoor experiences.
We try to highlight groups across the state that are trying to make a difference in folks' lives, especially if it pertains to the outdoors. Now, many outdoor groups are helping folks with physical limitations, and some are focusing on getting veterans back into the woods and on the water. All these groups are using the redemptive power of the outdoors to help make a difference.
Reel down to hook up, and he's on. There you go. Take him. Let me get that rod from under your legs. Okay. I always make this comment, you can't spend time in creation without having a sense of something bigger than yourself. I always feel like when I'm out camping, I'm the best version of me when I'm out in the woods or when I'm out in my boat. I'm not influenced by a lot of things like, the internet and pressures and work and things like that. I'm the best version of me out in the outdoors, and I think a lot of kids need that break from technology, from work, just to kind of be in the real world.
Chasing a big catfish is the real world and is better than any video game, to be sure. Luke was up next, and at first we thought we had a big snag. Well, we had something big, all right. We just didn't know how big it would turn out to be.
Stop fighting.
A little more.
You got this. Gosh.
A little closer. Oh my gosh. Monster flathead. Oh my gosh. That is awesome.
Got that right there? I caught that?
Dude, seriously.
That is a huge fish.
Jeez.
Stepping on rats here.
Oh my word.
That
Holy
is
cow. We had to get a weight on him.
Mm-hmm. Dude. There's your fish.
Oh my gosh.
Look at
That's awesome.
that.
That is beautiful. That's awesome. Nicely done.
Nice fish. All
That's
right.
sweet, dude.
Back in the water?
Yep.
I won't be taking your thunder. Oh my gosh. That was a splash.
With a big fish like that making its way to the net, our evening was a huge success on the fishing front. I asked Russ to fill me in on what are the next steps for his Freewater experience.
Probably the biggest thing, we're networked with some youth groups, so we draw from their students, we bring their students and friends on our activities. Right now, we're basically building a church-type ministry without the foundation of a church. So obviously, we're really needing to do heavy fundraising to make this a sustainable thing, to afford the events that we're doing and equipment and gear and all of the things to run this ministry. So, and then just exposure. We want people to know that this is available for everything from, families who have a teen that is really struggling to enter into a mentoring program with us, to just families who just feel like, we just need some time together on the water. It can be a youth group setting, or it can be, like I said, some of the survival camps and things that we do, just all those things working together and providing opportunities. But probably funding is the biggest thing, and just awareness that we exist.
We do hope that Russ can get this Freewater experience to take off, and that new people will see just what time in the outdoors can do. Like we said earlier, we try to shine a light on groups that are using the outdoors to make a difference, whether that is taking terminally ill kids out hunting, or groups focused on our veterans, or like what Russ is doing, tying the outdoors and his faith together. After our excursion, we had hopes of a catfish dinner, so we headed in and got some oil heating up. Catfish can sometimes get a bad rap, but if you know what you're doing, they can actually be pretty decent as far as table fare.
We're just going to bread the catfish strips. We cut them into little pieces about yay big, and we're just going to cover them with egg, and then roll them up in the Cheez-Its and throw them in some peanut oil. Make some little fish sticks.
All right. Now, I'm not going to lie and tell you that it was as good as bluegill or perch, but it was okay, and it didn't hurt that we were all pretty hungry. If it's been a while since you have tangled with a channel cat or even a flathead like we caught this evening, you really are missing out. Catfish fight hard, and even with big rods and big line, can put a burn in your arm. There are many a river across our state that you can try. All you need is some cut bait and a sizable sinker. Special thanks to Russ for letting us tag along, and we wish him all the best as he tries to make a difference in folks' lives, one fishing trip at a time.